Today, I want to talk about the various crime families of hell, focusing on the Mafias run by Moxie's father, as well as Angel's family, and how they might even connect. My name is Deepcut, hit that subscribe button, and let's jump into it. This most recent episode of Helluva Boss introduced us to Moxie's father, Crimson, a big player in the greed ring, living in not a mafia town, in which he is clearly running a mafia. Crimson is only the latest in a never-ending series of powerful figures in Hell, but the fact that he is an imp and seems to be doing things that are illegal adds a lot of new information to how Hell's hierarchy of power works. Hell is controlled by two classes, the Royals and the Overlords. The Royals, of course, include the 7 Princes of Hell, as well as the Nobles of the Ars Goetia, all of whom seem to have extensive histories in Hell's development, and who seem to have a natural authority under Lucifer, who is able to control the laws of Hell as a powerful fallen angel. The Overlords, on the other hand, are demons who rose up to power over time in Hell, with a lot of them, if not most of them, appearing to be earthborn sinners. I imagine this to be because sinners are able to come into Hell with new ideas from Earth, ideas that aren't even theirs, and revolutionize Hell with them, leading to them quickly rising in power and getting their hands in all sorts of businesses. Most of these businesses seem to be legal, with Hell's laws being pretty relaxed overall, so even hardcore drugs can be purchased in vending machines on the street. Despite this, however, there does appear to be criminal enterprises all over Hell as well, and many overlords seem to get involved with this in addition to their more legitimate businesses. The immortality of the earthborn sinners gives them an advantage over the lower native species of Hell like the imps and succubus, who are said to live longer than humans on Earth, but still nowhere near the immortal lives of sinners. While in real life, family wealth can be passed down from one generation to the next, each generation risks having that enterprise fall apart if none of the children who rise up are wise enough to take the reins. Buxo may have had success in running a circus, but if he had left it to Blitz, for instance, it may also go bankrupt because of his changes. And on top of that, a lot of the structure and laws put in place in Hell likely benefit the immortal and long-living demons who can hold on to their opportunities for hundreds or thousands of years, screwing over the lower-level demons who can spend their entire short lives just figuring out how little opportunity they had. Despite this, some native demons do appear to rise to power as well, such as the Von Eldridge family or Alistair's friend Rosie are said to be. The Von Eldridge family was described by Vivzipop as new money in relation to the royalty of the Morningstar family, who in the pilot the Von Eldridge family is seen in pictures with in the Happy Hotel. These Lovecraftian-themed demons are said to be natives that rose to power later in Hell's time, but have made friends with the Morningstar family because of their success and influence. With all of that in mind, it isn't too surprising to learn that even the lowest of low species in Hell, such as an imp, can rise to power in Hell by exploiting the populations the same way overlords do, though I cannot precisely say if Crimson qualifies as an overlord per se in terms of actual power. Much of what we think of as overlords is centered in the Pride Ring, largely because that is where earthborn sinners are restricted to. However, the native overlords like the Von Eldridge family should theoretically be able to live and do business in any of the rings of Hell. Regardless of if he is an overlord by some definition, Crimson is running his own mafia in the greed ring in not a mafia town. Like the overlords, he rules ruthlessly and extracts as much wealth as he can out of whatever population he can, but unlike the overlords, Crimson's system seems to be just one part of a larger system run by the greed sharks, with Crimson being just their asset to get in and exploit the local imp community in the greed ring. All of these greed sharks presumably work for none other than the Prince of Greed, Mammon. Mammon is already in charge of the banks of Hell, with his face being printed on the money, but he seems to be going as far as he can outside of the law to continue making even more money for himself. Moxie's father's place in this is rather dark, as it seems that his usefulness is in only destroying his own community entirely, after which he will be likely abandoned. This recent episode showed him being so out of money that he was trying to marry a shark demon into his family because he thought they'd have millions that he could inject into his business. This seems to be in part for two reasons. One is that Moxie's father may have extracted all the wealth he could out of the lower classes of greed imps. The scam he seems to run is that of giving illegal loans. Legal loans have caps on interest rates even in Hell, which is a good start, but they also have high standards that cut off a lot of people from access. Illegal loans thus offer a chance for the loan sharks to make extra money by charging more interest to people who need quick cash but couldn't possibly get approved for a legal loan. This puts the person in such a cycle of debt that they can't pay back the interest even long after paying back what they initially borrowed. Because loan sharks may have developed a reputation for this over time, their best bet is to find something within an existing community, such as the imps of the greed ring, and use them to manage the loans on their behalf. With the imp in this case, Crimson, walking away with a huge cut. Once you extract as much wealth as you can from a community though, you run out of people to loan to, let alone people who can actually pay you back. The loan sharks are fine because they presumably have other communities throughout Greed and even all of Hell that they are milking in this way. But they leave the community to be destroyed, and the person who helped them exploit the natives, in this case Crimson, has their financial empire crumble along with the city that they helped ruin. In addition to this, imps who could have kept paying back Moxie's father may have been killed by him for not getting their act together fast enough, as the large number of items washing up where Crimson dumps his bodies indicates that he does this to a lot of people, as does all of the trophies he keeps of his victims. It seems Moxie's father may have had decades worth of money he could have gotten out of those people if he wasn't too harsh with them, but his pride seems to be stronger than his greed, and he ends up killing his own client base, perhaps before they can even pay back what they initially borrowed, let alone the interest. Now, also running something of a crime family is of course Angel's father, at least that is what the early stories of Angel involved. While there haven't been clear indications of Angel's story changing with the upcoming series, I expect a lot of the stuff we think of as canon right now to be changed in the show proper. Not just with Angel's family, which we mostly know about from old comic strips and live streams, but even the prequel comics discussed earlier and the nature of the overlords and natives. With that in mind, Angel, as far as we know, was part of an Italian mafia family on Earth that carried over into Hell. Angel's name is short for Angel Dust, the drug he is of course addicted to. Angel's family is supposed to also have drug-based names, such as his sister being named Molly, though she is supposed to be an angel in heaven. So this name may not have been a chosen nickname like Angel or his father Henroin, named for heroin, probably something he is currently distributing as part of his web of crime in Hell. A lot of these mafia families seem to be related to drugs, which is interesting because Hell's laws are already so lax on what we think of as real-life illegal substances. However, with Mammon already controlling the banks, but also using the loan sharks to illegally extract more wealth from other populations, it's not a stretch to think that even with all these lax laws in Hell, some demons are still doing illegal trades and businesses, branding them as a mafia instead of just an overlord. A big theory I have is that a lot of the illegal businesses we might see outside of the loan sharks is the transport of illegal goods or illegal quantities of goods from one ring to another, particularly between the Pride Ring and the other rings of Hell. While natives from the lower rings can travel to Pride using the elevator to get anything that is legal in the Pride Ring but not in their rings, the sinners do not have that option as they are stuck in the Pride Ring and would need certain goods smuggled into Pride, which mafia families like Angels could play a part in. It's also been said that there is a black market for angelic weapons, weapons that were left behind by exorcists with the power to kill immortal sinners, powerful royals, and would presumably be extra powerful against even the more mortal native demons like imps. These weapons are left behind only in the Pride Ring, I imagine, as exorcists don't have a reason to go to the lower rings and kill non-immortal sinners as part of the overpopulation issue in Hell. These weapons would likely be restricted, not something you can just bring on the Hellevator system to give to someone like Stryker in the Wrath Ring, so crime families like Angels and Moxies would have their hands in that sort of illegal trade pipeline. While some fans theorize that the businesses of Angel's family and Moxie's family may align, I don't think that is the case. While they all seem to have their hands in many dirty dealings, the primary goal of Angel's family is in the drug trade, whereas Moxie's family is more so a tool used by the loan sharks and Mammon to extract wealth from the local imps of the Greed Ring, I think. But what do you guys think? Is it possible they have a connection, and what other non-royal crime families do you think we'll be seeing in Hazbin Hotel? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.